Hey guys, Sean here. I'm going to explain to you how to answer this question correctly. So we got this function question here, and we want to find out what role does this underlined portion of the sentence, this underlined portion play in this passage overall. Now, when we break down this passage, in the first sentence we see that Pemberton was modest. He was even timid. So we're dealing with a character who is not bold. Now, we also know that Pemberton is kind of poor. It says here in the green underline, when as yet one's university honors had, pecuniarily speaking, remained barren, which basically means that although Pemberton is well educated, it has not been financially productive for him yet. So doesn't have any money. So when we look at this next sentence, at any rate, when Mrs. Maureen got up as if to intimate that, since it was understood he would enter upon his duties within the week, she would let him off now. He succeeded, in spite of the presence of the child, in squeezing out a phrase about the rate of payment. Now, when we look at this underlined portion, we see that Mrs. Maureen thinks that this conversation is over. She's assumed that Pemberton's going to take this job. And because he fears that this conversation is going to end without any kind of mention about what he's going to get paid to take on this role of being a tutor, he squeezes out this phrase about the rate of payment. Now, it shows us that he's been kind of disciplined enough to kind of wait to see if Mrs. Maureen brings up this topic naturally or just over the course of the conversation, but it never comes up. So he's finally mustered up the courage to kind of ask something about the rate of payment. So we're looking for an answer that shows that the function of this underlined portion means that it figuratively expresses how Pemberton struggles to bring up a difficult subject. At least it's difficult for him. So when we look at these answer choices alpha doesn't work because it shows that it demonstrates the resolve of Pemberton to demand proper compensation. Now, we know this is wrong because, first of all, there's no reference to how much he's demanding. It doesn't even say he's demanding. He just brings it up. And we know that Pemberton is modest. He's not that bold. So this is not consistent with who Pemberton is. Answer choice Bravo, it reveals that Mrs. Maureen deliberately uses her child to create an environment unsuitable for certain topics. Now, there's no evidence here that Mrs. Maureen is doing this on purpose. Now, answer choice Bravo may or may not be true, but there's no evidence in the text that suggests that she's doing this on purpose. So deliberately is our word here that helps us eliminate answer choice Bravo. Now, Charlie works because it says it emphasizes the difficulty with which Pemberton brings up an awkward yet essential detail, because we know that it's difficult because he squeezes it out, right? He succeeds in squeezing out this phrase. Answer choice Delta sounds like it could be right. It says it suggests that Pemberton lacks the social refinement to discern the proper place and time to discuss certain subjects. Now, this is probably wrong because we know that Pemberton is modest. He might even be timid. So because of his modesty, he probably doesn't want to bring up this subject because he wants Mrs. Maureen to bring it up first. So he only brings it up because it never comes up. So it probably showed that he can discern that this is probably an awkward subject and the kid he's going to tutor is in the room right next to him. So he doesn't want to bring it up. So answer choice Delta is not consistent with what we have in the passage because it all indicates that Pemberton probably can read the room to a certain degree and he doesn't want to bring up the subject, but he has to. So answer choice Charlie is your best answer. Got it? Good.